Hey, this is Seth. What's up? Thanks for stopping by. I wanted to share with you something that has been really helpful to me for really a number of years now as I've been an investor, particularly when I'm buying and selling vacant land, but this also helps with just random houses, and you'd kind of be surprised how many types of properties this works with. But the thing that I'm talking about here is what I call my neighbor letter. And I kind of got this idea from a couple different people, and we've sort of put our heads together, and we just kind of came up with a few different options. But really all it consists of is a couple pages. You've got your actual letter right here, and then you enclose a parcel map of the property. Or for example, if it's a house, you would just print off a copy of a picture of the house. I mean, really, the idea is just to help identify the property. But the whole point of this letter is to do a few things. Once you take possession of a property or you have it under contract and you're trying to find the buyer as soon as possible, before I do anything else, what I do is I find out who the adjoining property owners are. So for example, who lives immediately right next door and on the other side of the property and behind the property and across the street from the property, that kind of thing. And depending on the situation, you could even go further up and down the street if you wanted to. But the idea is you find out who these people are, and then you put together this well-crafted letter that does a few things. First of all, it lets them know that you are the new owner of this property. You just bought it and you intend to sell it as soon as possible. It's also going to tell them all the property details, the parcel number, the address, bedrooms and bathrooms, size of the land, whatever the pertinent details are. And you're going to explain very clearly in this letter that you intend to sell this property as soon as possible. What you're hoping to do by sending this out is generate a lot of interest in the immediate area about your property. When you think about it, the opportunity to buy the property that's right next to you is actually kind of huge, because it actually gives somebody control of what's going to happen immediately next door. For example, suppose you own a nice house with a nice wooded lot next to it. Do you want that to stay a wooded lot? Or do you want some obnoxious neighbor to come in, chop all the trees down, and put up their single wide mobile home and trash the place? Is that likely to happen? I don't know. I mean, maybe, maybe not. What you're giving these people the opportunity to do is to control that fate. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of times when you'll send these letters out and people just don't have the money. They can't buy it. There's nothing they can do. They might want to, but they just can't take any action. But I will tell you, probably on average, I get anywhere from a 20 to 30% response rate on this, sometimes even higher than that. There's a lot of factors at play here, as with anything. But when you think about how much easier this could make your life as a seller, I mean, if you could find a buyer tomorrow, would you prefer to do that? Or would you prefer to list it with a realtor and let it sit on the market for 6 months before somebody comes by? If there's even an outside chance that you could get a neighbor interested in your property, that's a huge, huge benefit that you definitely want to take advantage of. If you take a look below, you can kind of get a feel for how I write these letters. I know this has been a really helpful tool for me, and it's actually worked on several occasions. What's really cool is when you can get multiple neighbors interested in the same property, because then you can create kind of a bidding war, and especially if it's a property that is right next door to them. I mean, as you can imagine, there's a lot of emotional involvement with that. I mean, people really want these properties sometimes. So if you happen to tap the right person, and if you really drum up some interest, you could find this serving you very, very well. I know it has for me, so just thought I'd put this out there and give you guys some ideas as well. So thanks for dropping in. Hopefully this helps you out, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.